Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Now, I probably, like many of you out there, absolutely loved Hogwarts Legacy. I've had an absolute blast with the game. It's fun to go back in and replay over it again, and it's just a good situation where it was just an absolute smash hit success. Now, obviously, there was just a tidbit of controversy over it because, of course, J.K. Rowling's just accused of being the worst possible things on the internet, as usual, because she disagrees with just a one single aspect of the woke cult agendas out there. So, of course, there was all kind of backlash, and there was boycotts, and yada, 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 yada. And, man, I'll tell you what. Those little spirit of the age possessed psychopaths out there had so much power that it made Hogwarts Legacy the #1 selling game of the year. It was an absolute smash hit. The game has been wonderful, and we're all very, very much anticipated for the sequel. And obviously, we've got the Quidditch World Cup game, which has been a lot of fun as well. But at the end of the day, we're waiting to return back to the Wizarding World and see what more kind of school shenanigans we can get up to. And well, ladies and gentlemen, if rumor is to be told true, even though Avalanche said they were not going to make DLC for the Hogwarts Legacy game, they were only going to concentrate on their next game. It looks like, considering the disastrous dumpster fire that Warner Brothers currently finds itself in, it may be a change of plans. Because we've got an article over here from ScreenRant.com that sources information from this exclusive over here from InsiderGaming.com, which Insider Gaming does have a halfway decent track record of having their rumors turn out to be true, but obviously, just like any other rumor mill out there, they've been wrong in the past as well. So as always, take this with a grain of salt. This is strictly rumor mill stuff out there right now, but nonetheless, it kind of lines up with the current financial status of Warner Brothers Games and how desperate Zaslav is to turn a profit and continue to turn a profit for a company that is already in a very bad state. So we're going to check out these articles from Screen Rant and, of course, InsiderGaming.com, because there's obviously the only reason I want to stick around to the Screen Rant article is because there's a lovely little disclaimer about reporting on anything that has anything to do with J.K. Rowling on this game that I think is just absolutely hilarious. But of course, we're going to check out the original source material as we do like to do. So before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Did you love Hogwarts Legacy? Were you one of the ones that stood strong in the absolute failed boycott of this game? Or are you also super excited to see what the future of this game might hold and are hoping that this rumor about DLC actually ends up being true? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. So, from InsiderGaming.com, exclusive from Tom Henderson, Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development. Oh, really? So some more stuff, some extra actions that we might get in there. And of course, there's obviously different ways you can go with the story and you can add more stuff. There's plenty of other places we could go and explore with inside the Hogwarts universe out there, the Harry Potter universe, that I think we'd all absolutely love. So Insider Gaming understands that a Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development. Its content will be sold as separate DLC for those with the existing game. Now, isn't that interesting? So they're going to put out a whole new version of this game for anybody out there that didn't get in on it the first time, which of course is going to make them a lot more money. And for those of us out there that already own the game, we won't have to buy a new one. It'll strictly be DLC, which I am totally okay with on something like that, especially if it gives us even close to a good quality kind of competency that we saw out of Hogwarts Legacy. So the Definitive Edition is said to have around 10 to 15 hours of additional content with new story quests, side quests, activities, and outfits. I mean, 10 to 15 hours of content in some cases, especially for a storyline and for a main quest out there. That is way more content than you get out of some of these big AAA studios out there. Hey, Miles Morales Spider-Man edition that costs $70. Here's looking at you. The details on what the edition or the DLC will be released or its price is still in flux. Still, some sources have suggested it could be released in 2025 to bolster Warner Brothers' diminishing game revenue following the weak performance. That's a nice way to put it. How about the absolute flop that was Suicide Squad Kills His Justice League? It's been suggested that the DLC will be between $20 and $30. And if they give us 10 to 15 hours worth of extra gameplay, that's really not going to be bad at all. As long as it's 10 to 15 115 hours of legit gameplay, not just 1,000 side quests out there that just pad time. That don't count, boys and girls. That dog will not hunt. And once again, that is one of the things that makes sense to this, because we know that Warner Brothers has already admitted to losing hundreds of millions of dollars on that last game out there, and they need to turn it around and they need to make a profit. Warner Brothers is broke right now, boys and girls, and they need to turn this around. Hogwarts Legacy was released at the beginning of 2023, and as of 2024, sold over 24 million copies. The game is still in the top 10 best-selling games in 2024 in the U.S. at number 10. That is insane. A Harry Potter game, boys and girls, coming out as the number 10 from an untested studio out there that nobody really knew who they were before this game came out there, and they absolutely crushed it. And this was the best part, even with all of the backlash. This game still, and for all of the stuff about gamers out there just hating all of this certain stuff, and because of the diversity, the inclusion, and equity, guess what? Hogwarts Legacy gives you type A bodies and type B bodies, and they have a very suspiciously, seemingly trans character as a main character that you interact a bunch in the game. And guess what? All of us bigots and our phobes out there had no problem putting tons of hours into this game. Who's the bigot now? And then, of course, earlier in this year, Warner Bros. Discovery CFO Gunn Wilson said the success to Hogwarts Legacy is one of the biggest priorities in a couple of years down the road. Of course, talking about a sequel to it. So there's still a lot of time to wait for those looking forward to a sequel. And I really would love a whole sequel. I don't care if we go. I would love to see us go and actually explore another one of the schools out there, either the American one of like Livermore, or even even the French school, or the African one that we've already kind of talked about and was introduced in this game. I don't care which one. I would love to go explore another one. But in order to get a good quality game out there, in order to not have to completely and totally start from the ground up, I have no problem with this putting us right back into Hogwarts. It's a blast. There's a million other stories you could tell inside of the wizarding world out there. And of course, you could have new spells. You could have all kinds of new things that we could learn. It could be a lot of fun. As for when the Definitive Edition DLC will be announced, it remains to be seen. But with a potential 2025 release date on the cards, it could be rather sooner or later. And that's exactly what I'm excited for. Let's hope for the sooner part. But yes, that Screen Rant article you thought I may have forgotten. Well, of course, Screen Rant comes out here and says all of the exact same things, talking about it being a #1 game, talking about the DLC, talking about how successful it was. I mean, it's like almost a copy and paste from the other article out there. But hey, guess what? That's what we get from the mainstream journalism these days, don't we, boys and girls? But this is what's fun to see, because after going through and praising the game, you have an editor's note from Screen Rant, because even though they have no way of avoiding talking about Hogwarts Legacy, its success and everything else, because guess what? It drives viewership to their website, just like it drove gamers to go out there and buy this game. But of course, they have to make sure everybody knows they don't support J.K. Rowling in any way, shape, or form. I'm honestly surprised they've moved this to the end of the article and not right after the beginning. But it's probably when they had it at the beginning, they had too many people automatically go away. So what does Screen Rant have to say? Editor's note. Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling has been accused of transphobia by those in the LGBTQ alphabet soup mafia. Although not directly involved in the development of Hogwarts Legacy, Rowling does stand to earn royalties from the game. That's right. We're all lining that bigot's pocket. Ain't it grand? Put more than $1,000 in her pocket. We would like to reiterate our support for trans rights and trans identities are valid. Support services are listed below for trans people impacted by the discussion of transphobia. Oh, you poor things. And this is the best part, right? This is the best part about this. I hope this rumor is 100% true. I hope we get great DLC from Avalanche and Hogwarts Legacy and Warner Brothers Games and everything else, because this game was an absolute blast. I would love to dig back in it and have even more storyline to go through. But at the end of the day, this is the best part. The fact that Screen Rant puts a disclaimer in there. The fact that, once again, this proves that this new audience that they were trying to approach, that they were trying to get, does not exist. They do not buy games. They do not show up to buy toys. They are not your customers. They never have been. And they certainly are not actual gamers out there, boys and girls. Because if they actually represented any kind of significant portion of the actual gaming audience out there in any way, shape, or form, Hogwarts Legacy would not have been the #1 game of the year and be number 10 overall for U.S. games. And Warner Brothers would not be fast-tracking a sequel and more than likely DLC, especially after the disastrous dumpster they've had with their last woke agenda-driven game out there from Rockstar. So boys and girls, does this make sense? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? I have no idea. Do I hope this rumor is true? Yes, please, Lord in heaven, let me return to Hogwarts Legacy with some new quality content from an incredible gaming studio out there that will not go down there and just bow the knee and cancel things and completely and totally discredit the creator of your game. No, they just want to make a good quality game. And guess what? They gave you the things you were asking for. Type A and Type B body types. They gave you a trans character in the game. And guess what? It's never enough for them. That's why you shouldn't capitulate to the woke in any way, shape, or form. Because no matter how much they screamed, no matter how much they cried about Hogwarts Legacy and J.K. Rowling being involved and making money off of it, guess what? It is still the #1 most successful game for Warner Brothers in a long time, if not history. And it looks like we might be getting even more coming very soon. And I can't wait to watch the wokies melt down. After all, it's exactly what they deserve.